Hey everyone, welcome to the Academy of Light. Today, to kick things off, I'd like to introduce a tool, the first of many that we're going to be exploring on the show. Tools that are designed to meet the current moment, a moment with so much despair in the world, war, alienation, and a looming climate crisis that challenges all of us how to respond. A kind of unprecedented psycho-spiritual challenge. And the tool that I would like to present today is a kind of meta tool. In fact, it's a blueprint that many of the tools and skills and mindsets that we're going to be exploring at the Academy of Light are going to be parts of. That is, they will stand alone, but they will also combine, kind of like a transformer, robots in disguise, into this one large tool. That being, I would like to introduce a blueprint for academies of light that are on the ground and that are places where a community can meet and grow together. So I've started one such community here in Pisac, Peru, where I'm currently living. I call the Sangha the sort of Buddhist circle of learning the Buddhist teaching and plant spirit medicine at the Academy of Light. That is to say that the way that I'm putting it together here specifically combines Buddhist teaching with the sacred plants that are traditionally used in this valley, such as Wachuma, the San Pedro cactus, and sacred plants that are used in other places in Peru. It's more of the jungle, namely the ayahuasca vine. So today I simply want to give the vision of what such an academy is. I believe that we can build many such schools around the world in different traditions, combining the Sufi tradition, Hindu tradition, Sikh, Jewish mysticism, Christian mysticism, with these ancient technologies which predate religions themselves, namely psychedelic plants, fungi. Technologies that, when used in an ethical container, in community, with a tradition, can help us to connect to the great mystery of life and to discover how to harmonize, how to be in harmony with one another and with nature. So hopefully we can pass on this beautiful world to the generations to come. So glancing at my notes over here, I'll share a little bit about how this community here looks, how this first Academy of Light, a kind of prototype that I'm trying to develop and hopefully share with you, with everyone, how it works. We gather every Friday at present, and just like any meditation, Buddhist meditation center, we meditate, we discuss the teachings of the Buddha, and we also try to understand how those teachings can form a beautiful braid, a unified stream with the indigenous traditions of this land and the use of these sacred plants. With the idea being that we can learn how to navigate the ordinary realm, the everyday, through powerful psychological, philosophical, and spiritual practices. And then we can bring that wisdom, we can bring those skills into the visionary experience so that we can open ourselves up to learning, to insight, with humility, with sincerity. Then gaining new insight, new wisdom, new embodied knowledge, the healing of trauma, understanding how to belong with one another. And we can bring that back into our everyday life, into the friendships that we build in this community, and integrate those insights together as members of a community. Then developing our skill, developing our wisdom in the everyday world, and bringing that then again back into visionary plant ceremonies, creating in this way a virtuous cycle, a feedback loop, where we are constantly learning and growing in relation to one another, and also growing in relation and in our love for creation. Because it seems that we have a lot of very promising scientific advances coming down the pipeline, and it gives hope. But it seems that to ultimately preserve our link to this planet, there has to be love. There has to be a sense of our sacred connection to this planet. There has to be a sense of our place in this greater dance. And there are a lot of studies being conducted right now, including those at the Imperial College of London, that suggest that there is no single, to use the language of psychology, intervention that is more powerful for increasing nature relatedness, a scholarly word for our love of this world, than these plant spirit medicines, as they are sometimes called, or psychedelics or entheogens. But there's never a silver bullet. There's never just a pill that you can take and make everything hunky-dory. That would be maybe too easy, and that's just not the world that we live in. So the idea with creating academies of light is to create places where we are connecting with the mystery through the use of these plants, the sacramental use of these plants and mushrooms and vines, etc., because they're spread throughout every continent and have been known to our ancestors from every continent. But also to have this container of community where we can check each other if the ego runs a little rampant, as it does sometimes for people everywhere. It's part of the human condition, but also for folks on a spiritual road, certainly for folks who are using psychedelics as a part of their spiritual road. I think that I might have had a slight pause there, so I'll repeat that. Both every day, in our everyday travels, the ego can get the best of us. Certainly on any spiritual road, the ego can get the best of us. It can convert through a process sometimes called spiritual materialism, any discovery, any insight into an inflation of the ego. And certainly for those people that choose to use psychedelics as a part of their spiritual road, there is a great danger of ego inflation. And so community is extremely important for us to check one another and to progress in an authentic way along a good spiritual road, falling in love with this world, healing our trauma, growing stronger, and through this process being able to apply the political pressure or enter into positions of legislation so that we can transform important laws to protect the world and our place in it, and the lives of our brothers and sisters, birds, animals, plants, the whole big living family, to use Buddhist language, all sentient beings. Let me glance at these notes and see where to go from there. Well, I think that if my hypothesis is right, and we can create such a Buddhist Academy of Light. As I mentioned earlier, I believe that we can have academies of light in different mystical traditions of all the world's religions, of emerging spiritual movements, and humanistic academies of light that do not necessarily use concepts like God, but have a powerful ethical grounding. I believe that we can create a network of such academies, that such a network, sometimes I playfully call it the 108G network, 108 being a number of spiritual significance in some of the South Indian spiritual traditions, or rather South Asian Indian spiritual traditions. I believe that such a network, if we establish it and put it up real good, so to speak, create a beautiful ecumenical network of academies of light. They could have different names. I think that people in such a network could learn from one another, and that it would be a part of the puzzle for creating peace, healing, and once again, falling deeply in love with the earth, remembering our profound and inextricable belonging to the earth, our ultimate and unconditional interconnectedness with everything that is, thereby developing the motivation together, since these things can only be discovered, crowdsourced, established together, and generating the deep motivation to create laws, structures, traditions to protect the environment and to pass a beautiful world to the 7 generations to come. Let's see if we got anything else good that would be handy that I have not mentioned yet. I think those are the main points, my friends. I want to keep it concise. As I said, I'm starting from a bird's eye view and suggesting that we can create these academies of light that can give us a sense of community, meaning, connection to nature, connection to the divine, to the mystery, healing of past traumas that we've acquired along the way through the course of our lives, and that have also been passed down to us across the generations, intergenerational traumas. And that's a tall order and a big promise, and as I've said, no one can figure this out on their own. If you want to throw some comments into the mix, please do. We will, I hope, find these answers together as a human family, since this is the only way that we can continue our journey in this beautiful place. And in the episodes to come, we will shift from this global bird's eye view to the micro view and offer precise tools for each of us as individuals in our everyday experience in sacramental psychedelic journeys with these plants. So hang on tight, it's gonna be a fun ride, and I'll catch you next time at the Academy of Light. Cheers, y'all. Peace.